And welcome to this product update live stream from Crystallize. My name is Bård, and I have with me Vasil, which is lead frontend here at Crystallize.
Hi everyone, I'm really happy to join board today for this live session.
This is an exciting one. We've been waiting quite some time for this here. Looking forward to share with you what's up with a new component, basically, which is called multiple choice. It enables quite some new power in the content modeling in Crystallize, but also it changes the editorial experience for marketing managers or product managers. Basically, we showed before in a previous live stream with pieces that you could have pieces in a choice, for example, where you could choose what type of components should be available depending on, for example, the type of product. Basically polymorphism, right? So that you have an item that changes which properties are available depending on editorial choices. What we have done now is made that repeatable so that you can make many choices and also shift them around. So it can be used for everything from a super editorial friendly page builder, creating landing pages, marketing content. Basically that you can add components based on blocks or pieces, as we call it in Crystallize, and then still have a, let's say, semantically structured landing page with repeating or optional repeating blocks. The other example we will dive into is also more product specific, so that you can combine different types of product properties, like download section, like dimensions and specifications on the product. But I'm getting ahead of myself now. Maybe we should start with an example
of a landing page.
Yeah,
maybe.
let's do
that. Yeah. Maybe I can share a few words here. This is a landing page for one of our boilerplates furniture. And as you can see, like what is the page kind of completed? What's the parts which are going to a landing page? Here is just an example, right? So here at the top, you see we have a banner, and then it has a title and has a CTA button. And as you can see, also this banner, for example, in this case is a full width banner. What we have here below, it's a different kind of banner in a way, right? It's kind of again a big block that has an image as the banner above has title, but this time doesn't have a CTA button, and it's not full width, as you can see. So these are just kind of the same component banner, right, but with different properties. Here below we have another few components where we have different parts of our products on the website, different blocks, right, which could be repeating or just three individuals with multiple images or a single image. And then further down we have this could be a slideshow of images where we show different products with their prices and discounts and whatsoever. And then this can go further down and down, but this is just an example of what could be a landing page.
And this is what we implement in this accelerator today. We use grids and relation to what we call tiles in that, which is blocks of different types of marketing content, like a banner, or product placement, like the selection of plants that are discounted and available there. But with multiple choice, we can kind of do this in a different approach. Where would you start?
Okay, I would suggest, like in this case, as always, when it comes to content modeling, we start from the shape. So how about we first start by creating a document shape, which will represent our landing page, and then we define all the components that we need in there.
Yep.
Cool. So I'll go ahead and then create a document called landing page. Over here, as in every landing page, we will need a title, and then we will need a description.
Yeah. And this is because you probably want an editorial created title for your landing page, right? And okay, where does the blocks come in?
Yeah, so this is now the part where we need to describe all of these banners and everything. But actually, one thing that I forget to do, maybe I'll just create this for now as it is. And then maybe we can take a look at the pieces that we have here predefined, or we already created, and they're maybe used even in the different shapes already. Let's say, for example, here we have the banner piece. And as I showed you earlier, we have a banner piece that consists of a headline, image, and then we have this Boolean property, which is either a full width or not.
And of course, if you need more, if you want to have more components, you can just add that to this piece. But the concept is, okay, we have a piece, which maybe a front-end block or a component on your website, and these are the properties that you can manage there.
Yeah. Another example here that we define is, for example, the CTA, the call to action piece that consists of a headline and a product. When we, for example, if this is a button, when we click on the button, to which item it should take us. This is also another example of a piece that could be reused across many different shapes and places. Yeah, then what we have here also is a image hero. This is just like a big image that we can display with a headline, and a CTA chunk that we have, which could be repeatable, so we can have more multiple actions. This is just an example again, right? Then we have
to interrupt there on the CTA here, this is kind of a different way or different implementation of a call to action, where you kind of just create links. So let's say a button bar where you have a text for the sale or the specific product, or even external URL, whereas the other was relating to existing products within Crystallize. So you do you, as we say, and you model what makes sense in your context.
Yeah. And then I was just showing also the image slider, which, as I showed you, this carousel that we had on our landing page, it could be just a headline, and then of several images that we can look at and preview. And then we have also the video hero, which is quite similar to the image hero with a kind of similar CTA. This could be also a piece itself that we can add to this piece if you want to model it that way.
Yeah.
Cool.
And these are, of course, just examples of how you can build these kind of blocks. And now you have them as reusable pieces. We covered pieces in detail in our previous live stream, so you can check that out. But
yeah,
how do we connect the dots?
Yeah, should we get back to where I started?
Yep.
So this is the landing page document that I created with the title and description. As we said, we want to allow that editorial to be changed and to be translatable and everything. So now how actually we add these multiple blocks, and how we allow the editor to choose what goes after what, and like what's the sequence of things on the page. For this, we have added the new component that Bort just mentioned in the beginning of the live stream, the multiple choice component, which goes here under the structural components, where we have chunk choice, which is the single choice, the component that we be having for a while now, and then the multiple choice is the new component. So this is I will call these blocks because this will consist of different pieces, right?
So and this is what many can refer to maybe as a page builder, that you can build a landing page or any page based on a set of predefined blocks.
Yeah.
And this is where you define which blocks should be available, right?
Yeah, exactly. So what should we allow the kind of the editor to choose? I guess we need a banner.
Yeah.
Drop. We need a CTA. What else? Maybe image slider.
Yeah.
Another nice piece. Here, how about the USPs? These are the.
Yeah, I think that's good. I mean, USPs could be specific to a product, like what is good with this product, but it could also be something you want on the landing page, because the landing page could be for a product group or a specific topic, or if we're staying on plants or gardening stuff, it's now prepare for spring, and here are all the gardening tools you need, and then you have USPs that you want to inject on the landing page. So I think it's super relevant.
Yeah. And then actually, it didn't really open the USPs, but the USPs just consist of a repeatable chunk, right? Because in most cases, the selling points, right, there will be the different blocks next to each other. So there will be like either 3 or 6, depends what's the layout of the page. So that's why it's repeatable. And then we have an icon and the selling point text, what goes in there. Cool. Okay, I think that should be enough for us to create the landing page.
One thing here, because we're kind of fanatic about best practices and SEO and things like making things proper for the internet, because now you have a shape for a landing page. But if I want to set proper meta tags for SEO, OG share and things like this, what could be an approach there?
Yeah, the approach in kind of the way to do it, I think the right way to do it even, is to define the SEO block once and then just reuse it in different places. So that way we make sure that actually everywhere we have this SEO information, it's always consistent. It always contains the title, description, image, like all the information that we need, instead of recreating it every time for different usages. So in this case, it's just as easy as getting the SEO piece added here to the blocks, and now we have it.
And the SEO piece there is basically a title, description, and image, and what you use for OG share and setting the title and meta description, things like this.
Yeah. Great. Do I forget anything else to add here, Bort? Or
I think it's good. You can of course add the video here if you want to have that as an example. It doesn't really matter.
Maybe what's important here to mention, I'm sorry, is that when we're creating the multiple choice component, you see now that right now we're just dragging pieces, but what you can do easily, you can just drag any of the components here on the site, right?
Good point.
So that's not limited, and you can even take it further and drag, you cannot drag the structural component, but the basic components, they can go inside, or a piece can go inside like this, and then you can have it.
Yeah. So it could be just simple components and use that to build. But typically you would group things in a piece and have a more complex structure. That's the typical cases.
Yeah.
So this is information architect. We've done the content modeling for a landing page. We've defined, the pieces and the components. And then as an editorial user, I want to make a new landing page.
Yeah, let's do that. So here I'll go to the catalog, as you can see, and what we can do in this case, we can create just a new document of a type, a landing page, right? This is our new document. Here the title will be, do you like pizza actually, Bart? Do you prefer that?
I prefer burger, but thanks for asking.
I'm a pizza guy, so I'm sorry, I'll go for pizza. I'll call it the landing page for Pizza King. Let's do that. So we choose the landing page shape that we just created. Cool. So this is kind of already the editorial experience, right? We created the document with the shape of a landing page. Now you add the title here, which will be the same in this case. So the description could be "Come and see us. We are just open." Cool. This is the basic information for our document. And what you actually get to see now is these multiple choice blocks that we created earlier. And here you can see all the components that we added, which in this case are just pieces, but they, as I said, could be also simple components that we can choose from. So what should we start with, Bort, building this landing page?
Let's start with
I'm sorry?
Let's start with the banner. I think that's a good opening for a landing page.
Yeah. So here we add a Pizza King. For our banner, we need a headline. Pizza King is open. Let's say image. Here I prepared a few images in my Lightbox, which I can use straight away. So since we talk about pizza, we need to show something really good and delicious over here. And then we want this banner, which is at the top of the page, right, to be full width.
Yeah, and this here is, I think, a good point also to pause on, because what we're doing here now is actually doing channel-specific content modeling, right? Because here we're talking about the way this is going to be displayed, in this case, on mobile and desktop typically, right? So you have a full width property, because this is a marketing landing page for the web. So you could even go in here and do things like background color or different styles. You can enter hex values here if you want that. I wouldn't recommend that, because then things won't be pretty. But let's say dark mode, light mode, having different styles so that the editorial team can choose to change it up. So I think this the little boolean there is bringing a lot of information.
Yeah, that's true. What should we add next here then? What would be a good example?
Maybe some USPs. Why
Yeah,
why do you want to have pizza?
let's add some strong selling points, right?
Yeah.
So as shown earlier, this is a repeatable chunk. So then I'll add the chunk, and let's start with okay. Let's start with X.
Chunk is a grouping of components in Crystallize, which can or cannot be repeating, and in this case, it's repeating. Yeah, this is good.
I can add another one even if I want. Let's say here organic. Organic mustard.
Yeah. And of course, here you can keep adding USPs, and how it's going to be displayed on the front end. Well, that's up to the front end team, right? So this is just the data that you're going to feed to the front end.
Yeah. Cool. Let me collapse these two pieces. So what should we add next here? Maybe image slider to show some pizzas. Now that we talk, what are the advantages of the pizza?
Yeah.
So let's have some view more pizzas.
Mm-hmm.
And then over here, we can just drop 2 more images of the pizzas, so people get to actually look at a little more delicious things. Yeah. And should we, so since now we showed the kind of the benefits, we showed a little bit more pizza, maybe we can have some CTA here.
Yeah.
And this CTA can, for example, in this case, go to the extent that you had the good, delicious pizzas. Right now, it's time to actually do something more, or take us to kind of do something, to use that energy.
Yeah.
And here I prepared a short list of books. So it could be something to the extent read the book.
And you should be in marketing, because of course you want to read The Hobbit after eating a pizza.
Yeah. So pick the Hobbit, pick out the variants over here, and then we have these relations with the SKUs that go in that CTA button.
Yeah. What if you want to have another image slider? Because this is the whole point, right? That you can actually repeat the choices. You have multiple choices.
Yeah, we can just go ahead and add it over here. That's no problem at all. So see some products, and then this time we can just have different products like this that go into the pizza.
And so this is nice. And editorially, I actually would like to see the image slider maybe in a different position.
Yeah. So that's one of the things that also we added, and I think it's kind of nice. As you can see here, we have this floating bar every time we hover a component, and that gives us a few options, as you can see. So maybe I can talk about first what is the floating bar board, and then we can I can do the rest. So here we have the option to add component, let's say here in between. As you can see, all the options are popping. This is just a placeholder, right? And then when we select one of these, it will just appear in that place.
Yeah.
What else we can do? We can also remove this component. And this will warn us, because if this is a component that has some data or anything, we better be careful when we are removing it. And what else we can do, as you said, if we feel like that's the component that we want is not placed in the right position, we can just drag it. So I'll move this, let's say, to a first position over here, where now we have our slider at the very top, if that's what we want, of course. If not, we can always drag it down or move it to a new position.
So basically then, when creating landing pages or giving the editorial team possibilities to create landing pages, you just define the different components you want, and then you make, of course, front-end rendering components. And after that is done, the editorial team can go crazy and create landing pages without any involvement of any developers or designers.
Exactly.
It's super powerful, and it's a different approach than what we do, as we said, on the furniture boilerplate today, where we use the grids and relate in, we call it tiles, which are different shapes, similar to what you have here with pieces. So the tile could be the same as the piece, and you can actually use both methods at the same time. That's a different story.
Yeah.
I do see an error here. And I can also spot it out, because if you publish this now, I would just like to have the SEO data here. I think that should be dropped outside of the blocks in the structure here, because you only want one, and it should be not for the blocks. It should be for the document itself.
Yeah.
So that's how we see you fix that.
Yeah, it just dropped outside. Then we can go back to our place over here, and here at the very bottom we have the SEO component, which is outside the blocks, as you said. That was a good catch.
Okay, so this is a landing page, and of course you can use this on folders, on documents, and on products. It's a generic new component that brings a lot of power. Should we go into a little bit more of a product context? Because landing pages is nice, but we usually work a lot with products in Crystallize, since it's an e-commerce service. So here you have a basic product shape, right? Name, description, and SEO, like the bare bones. Because we've been discussing around, let's say, not product description. Well, of course you can do that. You can use the exact same pattern as we did for the landing page for the, let's say, the product story, if you want to have different possibilities there. But on products, we often talk about properties and specifications, and something that are, it could be downloadable mounting instruction for a sofa, or it could be data sheets and inspirational content, maybe a 3D view or multiple 3D views of a product, things like this. So how would you go about modeling that?
Yeah. So what's good about multiple choice is that it has a really good fit also in this scenario, as you just described, where we have the product with different properties, and then based on the type of the product, the editor can choose the properties that go into that product. Cool. Let's create that. So here I'll start again by adding the multiple choice component, and this will be product details. And then we can just add the components that go into that product detail. So again, this could be any simple component here, as we see on the side, or it could be any of the pieces that we have here. So I'll start first, because these are the product details, and probably we talk about these electric properties and food properties, which we prepared these two pieces in advance. So I'll just drag these two.
And also just to comment on that, because electric properties and food properties, in the last live stream on pieces, we showed that we placed that directly in a single choice, which if you just have these two properties, like the polymorphism, you want the product to change. If it's electric, different props. So it's kind of two different ways of modeling depending on what you want to achieve. But once you add some more, this makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, like for example, that we want to add the downloads, as you said earlier, that we can allow to download some specification or property of the or documentation of the product. What else we can add to this 3D product visualizer? What about this one? We can also add it.
Yeah.
Do I miss anything else here, Bort? What do you think? Or
you can do USPs.
USPs always, yeah, we can add that piece that goes everywhere.
Yeah.
Cool.
And that I think it's good.
Okay, so let's go and see actually how we can work with this product details multiple choice that we just defined. Over here, I'll just go. We have two documents that are, as you can see, are using this shape already. So I'll go to the Smack robot, and then here is the name and the description as they are defining the shape, and then the CO block that was there. Maybe we can move that even to the bottom if it's needed. And then here we have the multiple choice with some components. So maybe I can delete some of them, and then we can re-add them later.
Yeah.
We can choose the one that we want. This is just an example. Or I can do it from here and remove all of them. Yeah. Cool. So this is our multiple choice that we defined, right, with the electric properties, food properties, downloads, and everything. So this product is a Smack robot, right? So it's definitely an electric property that we need to add to it.
Yeah.
So add that piece, and then we'll go here with some physical dimensions. Let's say here there's going to be 30 centimeters by 30, let's say, centimeters. Length will be 45, and the weight is going to be like 3 kilos. Cool, and then we can add some more information about the power and the voltage here that it requires.
Yeah.
Cool. So what else we can add here? We can, for example, add the downloads. What do you think about that, Bort? Or
you know what? I would go for, let's say, a 3D visualizer. You start with the 3D model of the product, for example.
So we add some headline here, and then we drop a file. So here I happen to have one file that I can use for that. It's a GLIB file, kind of 3D model of the robot.
Yeah.
Cool. We can add USPs here if we need, of course, that. So let me grab. I don't have any here. Okay, so then I can just do that and come and grab one from here. And then selling point will be it is very modern.
Actually, it's a retro style mixer, but that's not the point.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it could be anything, right? It depends what the editorial the editor decides to add and use.
And here you can add as many as you want in this case.
Yeah, we can go and add another one and so on. Kind of the same experience as we had before with the same piece.
Yeah. And then after the USPs, maybe you then have a section with a couple of downloads.
Yeah, where we can add here, of course.
And in this case, if you want to, it could be very specific download, like a data sheet, for example, something like this. That you can have, and of course this is a repeating section, but you can have one section here with some downloads, and then you can add some other USBs, and then you can have another section with downloads. So this is the point here, that you can you can stack the blocks or the components on top of each other, and then you can also easily change the order, because some products have maybe some simple specifications and just an image. Others need 3D models and videos and specifications, then another download section and things like this. So you can really build these landing pages very dynamically. Basically exactly the same principle as we showed for the landing page, but here more in the properties context of a product. What you choose to model, of course, depends on your use case, because you might have required fields and you want a very semantic or specific structure, or like this, where you want to have a more free form, let's say marketing driven landing page for the products. So it gives a lot of possibilities and freedom. As we usually say, also with freedom comes a lot of responsibility. So just because you can doesn't mean that you always should, right? So this is a mechanism that you have for the modeling your product universe, as we call it in Crystallize.
Yeah.
Pretty powerful. That's a good walkthrough here, Vasil. What else to mention? This is very soon being released. I'm not going to say that it's available next week. And since you watched this far, subscribe. There will be another video next week. Until then, have a good one.
Bye.